Okay, so we're going to talk about Madison's training so we can stay consistent at home. So you're going to want to reward the behaviors that Madison does correctly to increase the rate of those behaviors, and then we're going to correct the unwanted behaviors to decrease the rate of those behaviors, and how we're going to do that is with her training equipment. So first we're going to turn the collar on. Madison can wear this every day, all day, and it should come off at night. So when you look at the collar, you'll see a little red dot in the front right here. That is a magnet that's actually going to turn the collar on. The key to that magnet is on the remote. So if we look at the side, we see the little red dot. That is the key to turn the collar on. We're going to touch the two together and we're going to see a green light. So that green light means it's on, charged, ready to go. If you accidentally hit it twice, you'll see a red light, you turn the collar off. So we're going to turn the collar on. We'll see a green light. It'll flash every few seconds to let us know that it is on, charged, ready to go. Then we're going to turn on the remote. So the on-off button in the back, we're going to push and hold it until the screen lights up. So you'll see the screen, it's on, ready to go, and you'll see that it has the level 25 on it. That is Madison's level right now. It's just enough to discourage the unwanted behavior, but it shouldn't be scary in any way. This level might change, but we'll go over that at the end of the video. So we're going to talk about when to use the collar. So we're going to talk about her commands and when we need to use the black S button. That is going to be the primary button that we're going to use to talk to Madison to let her know that she did not make the right choice whenever she did the action that she did. So let's talk about heel. Heel means walk next to me on a loose leash. Free means she can go sniff and wander around, but when she's in a heel, she should walk next to you on a loose leash. If she chooses not to walk next to you on a loose leash, go this way, that way, sniff. You're going to say no, push the black S button, and then say heel. So we mark the incorrect behavior with a verbal no, and then we follow through with the remote. The reason we do that is so there's meaning behind our words. Just like when we say good girl, we either give a treat, praise, or petting. So we are going to follow through with what we say. If we just say no and then nothing else happens, she'll learn that she doesn't have to listen all the time. So it's no, correction, give the command again, heel. Again, heel means walk next to you on a loose leash. We also have the prong collar. So the prong collar, the way we're going to take the collar off is we're going to actually slide the prong following the other prong down with a little bit of thumb pressure, and then we squeeze the two back together. You can't force it down, you have to squeeze them and put them in place. So it goes down and then squeeze, goes back in. So the prong collar we are also going to use to communicate if she's done something incorrect with a little tug and release. So the collar actually hooks onto the D-ring, which has a flat edge. The reason is so that the collar will tighten and loosen as it should. So again, it's just a little pop and release, not a whole lot, just to guide her like in the heel. If she's too far forward, no, pop backwards a little bit. You want to hook it to the D-ring and not the circle because the circle will not loosen as it should. Okay, so when you're working with Madison, you want to have a leash on her even in the house for the first couple of days so she starts to understand where your boundaries are when you're working on these commands. If you just start off leash immediately, she might get confused, so we want to set her up for success and make sure we can guide her with the leash if she gets a little confused on something without having to necessarily use the remote collar. So the remote collar is to be used when she does something incorrect, when she knows what's expected of her. So for example, the jumping, if she jumps up, no, and you can tell her to do a different command, or you can just leave it at that. But let's talk about her other commands. We have sit. Sit means stay until she's told free or heel, because one command can break another. So for door manners, stopping at crosswalks, and whatever you want to use sit for, sit. When you're going to move, so for example for door manners, you can tell her sit, open the door, and then walk through together and say heel. Or you can remind her sit, step through the door's threshold, and then tell her free that she can come through the door. Either way, when you leave her, remind her sit, then leave. Don't just walk away because she'll assume to follow you into the heel. So to have her sit, as you walk through the door, remind her sit, walk through, then free. Just a little reminder to help set her up for success. Then we have down. Down means lay down and stay. It doesn't mean off from jumping, you can say no or off for that. Down means lay down and stay. So for example, you can put her in a down at a dog-friendly restaurant while you're eating. That way she's not up and about. You can tell her down, walk away, go back, good down, and tell her free. I don't like to tell her free from a distance because then she'll come to me and she'll get rewarded for coming when called, not for staying in the down stay the whole time. So she will be less likely to stay the next time because she got rewarded for coming to you when called, not staying in the down stay. So always go back to her good down, then free, and you'll see that in the video. Then we have come when called. So come when called means you'll say come, she's point A, it means come to point B. So come to me, it doesn't mean come follow me, that's heel. You want to say come, back up and praise as she runs to you, have her sit, and then reward. Sometimes I like to put my hand on my thigh, that way she has kind of a target to look for so she doesn't get overly excited and pass by me. If she doesn't listen to your commands, again, no, follow through, then ask the command again so she understands to get it right. For example, when you're working on heel or down or place, which we'll get to in a second, if you say no and then give a correction, you don't want to immediately follow through with the reward, with the exception of come when called. If you say no and correct her and then she does come to you when you call, you want to reward that still because the correction happened over there. You're still the fun person that gives the treats to build that reward history with come when called and get a really reliable recall. So now let's talk about place. Place is a boundary stay on a bed. You tell her to go to place. Your guests come over. She's not jumping on them and she's getting a treat for staying on the bed, and we're promoting her to be calm while on place while your guests are coming in or you're eating so she's not begging at the table. So go to place. We reward on the bed because we want the bed to produce the reward, so she wants to stay on that positive boundary. And then we don't free from a distance. We always go back to her, good place, and then we tell her free like she's a mime in a box and we're opening the door. So you can tell her to go to place, good girl. If she tries to get off, again, no, place, help her with the leash if she gets confused. Once she understands it, you don't have to use the leash in training. You can just rely on the remote collar to make sure you can follow through with your commands. And then go to her, good place, tell her free. And then we have leave it. Don't get that off of the ground. So if you drop something, leave it. If she still goes for it, you can just use the correction. That works for the leave it. You don't have to say no, leave it. You could just say leave it, correction. So practice with dog safe foods first, then you have it as a reliable source if you drop something that she's not supposed to eat. So we have heel, which means walk next to me on a loose leash. Sit, which means stay until told free or heel. Remember, give reminders. Down means lay down and stay until she's told free. And remember, give reminders when you move. So if you're going to put her in a down and then walk in an aisle at a store, remind her down, walk around, and then go back to her. And then if she sees a distraction, remind her of what she's supposed to be doing. If you have her on a walk and a barking dog is going by you, remind her good heel, good heel. That way she understands what her job is and that she's doing a good job of it. And then we have place, stay on the boundary until you're told free. We don't free from a distance. Come to me when I call. Leave it, don't grab that, and free, you are released from your command and can go sniff, do whatever. So those are her commands. This is how we're going to stay consistent. Reward the behaviors you want to see to increase the rate of those behaviors. Correct the unwanted behaviors to decrease the rate of those behaviors. It takes about 500 reps for dogs to be proficient at what they're taught, so it takes about 4 to 6 months to get that practice in. And now, the most important part, have fun, stay consistent, and now we're going to show you Maddison's commands. Down. Good girl. Down. Down. Good down. Good down. Down. Free. Good girl. Leave it. You gonna hide from it? Free. No, come on, free. Come on, free. Okay. Good job. Good job. Good girl. Hey. Leave it. What are you smelling? Good job, though. Free. Okay. Good girl. Free. Place. Good job. Place. Good girl. Place. Okay, so we're going to talk about the other features of the remote collar because it does have quite a few features. So we know how to turn the collar on, but how do we turn the collar off at the end of the day? We are going to turn it off the same way we turned it on by touching the two red magnets. So we're going to touch the two together. Red light, off, good to go. It will last about 2 days on a charge if you turn it off at night. If you leave it on all night, it'll only last about a day. And then the on-off button, we have to actually push and hold it until the screen goes blank, which takes a few seconds. So then we're going to turn this back on so we can show you all the features of the remote collar. So we're using the black S button, which is level 25. The red S button is for emergencies only. It is going to boost plus 25. So it's actually going to boost to 50. We have not needed this for Maddison, but it is for emergencies only in case she were to get away and she's put herself in a dangerous position. There are cars. If you call her to you and she doesn't listen, no, you've tried correcting her, Boost is your only option to snap her out of whatever is going on, that she's not listening to your command if she's in a dangerous position. So it's to kind of snap her back to reality. Again, we have not needed this, so just be aware. That is what the red button does. Again, emergencies only. Level 25 is what works for her right now, but that can change over time. If it becomes like it's too much, you can turn it down, or if you don't think it's enough, you can turn it up. The dial's right here, but you're gonna notice that it doesn't change because it's locked. So we're going to push down and hold it, then we're going to release. So the 1D is now flashing, so it is unlocked, and you can turn the level down, or you can turn it up to whatever you want it to be at. So if you think it's a little too high at home, you can turn it down to 20 or 15. If it's not enough, you turn it up to 30 or 35. And then we can lock it to make sure we don't accidentally turn it up or down. Just want to make sure it's locked. So that's how you change the level. The T button over here is vibrate. So it's just going to vibrate the collar. I wouldn't recommend using this in the beginning, but you can use it over time to give like a warning, like, hey, straighten up. But I wouldn't rely on it too much right now. We have this little M/C button in the back that stands for momentary or continuous. Right now she only needs a momentary correction, so no matter how long I hold my finger on the button, it's just going to give that one stimulation. Don't change it to continuous. She does not need that now. Then we have the on-off button, or is also a flashlight. So if you tap it instead of holding it down, you'll actually activate the flashlight so you can see Maddison at night. Pretty cool feature. Turn it off, tap it again. So flashing light, solid light, tap again, turns the light off. It is rechargeable. The charging port is on the back here. And for the collar, it is underneath here. This is waterproof, so make sure that this flap is closed, especially if you're going to take her swimming. She can get wet, it's fine. The one thing you want to remember though is it's going to be on her very snug, so you don't want to allow water and moisture to build in underneath the collar, because then it can lead to a hot spot or a collar spot, which is basically a little skin infection, and then she won't be able to wear the collar. So make sure if she goes swimming that you take this off, really dry and clean that area, and then she can put the collar back on. She should wear this 12 to 14 hours a day, take it off at night. It is rechargeable, should last about 2 days on the charge. And then we have this easy bungee snap. Now, this has a little give to it, but this collar must fit snug, allowing only 1 to 2 fingers to fit in between Maddison and the collar, because the contact points need to make connection to her skin, and if they don't, then she's not going to feel the collar and it's not going to work very well. So in here, we have the charger that'll charge both the remote and the collar at the same time. We have little extender prongs for long hair dogs. I don't think her hair's not that long, so I didn't change her to this. But then we have this little tool to tighten the prongs if you feel that they are loose, but they shouldn't get loose, but you have it just in case. And then the instruction manual at the bottom if you want to go over all the buttons in greater detail. This does have a 2-year full warranty, so if anything happens to it, it's not holding a charge, whatever the case is, you'll want to get a hold of eCollar Technologies, and that information is on the box down here. So they're a really good company, quite quick customer service. So that's the other features of the remote collar. It reaches up to a half-mile, waterproof, a 2-year warranty. So I think we've gone over all of that and all the extra buttons and gadgets. So the important thing is remember to use this equipment consistently so Maddison understands that you do have follow-through with your commands. Make sure to, again, balance that out with corrections, also with rewards. Make sure you praise and give her treats when she does the right thing. That way it's an even balance of trade. And then have fun, stay consistent, and let us know if you have any questions.